Alright, so I had no real plans to talk about Sonic Forces again, unless there was the off chance that we did get another playable character. That was the only way I was going to talk about Forces again, because that is the last bit of info that would make me interested in the game, that would really make me want to talk about it. Because you gotta think about it, we haven't been able to play with any other character other than Sonic since Sonic 06 in like a main 3D game. Forces is the first to introduce a new character, that is the custom character. And today we also got news that Shadow the Hedgehog is actually playable. Yes, Shadow is here, we all knew he was in the game, but he's actually playable. They put him up for DLC, and the DLC will be free, so that is pretty good to hear. A really good move on their part. I think this is what they had to do. I actually want to know their mindset behind this and why he's free DLC, like day one DLC. I wonder if they were thinking like, man, people are really complaining about Classic and Forces and the stage design, and so many people are hating on our game. And then one guy walks in like, maybe we should just give them a character they want to play as. And yeah, Shadow is a character people want to play as, and that's what we have. That's why this is so exciting, because wow, they're doing something the fans asked for. What is this? I know they've done things for fans in the past. We just got Mania and stuff, so I'm not being ungrateful in that area. But as far as the gameplay, he looks to play just like Sonic, which is a good thing. People are against Shadow being like a clone, when really his best game and best appearance ever in the series is Sonic Adventure 2, where he barely had any differences, if any, from Sonic. So I like the idea of Shadow just being another Sonic, with like, again, his own style, maybe like some bonus, you know, some extra move to add. But the moment Shadow stopped being like a direct Sonic clone is when he kind of started to suck. So I'm fully with that. I have no problem with that. It does look really, like, when you look at the gameplay, the stage doesn't look that fun at all. And I think it's one of the, like, Shadow gets 3 new stages along with all of Sonic's stages, which is a great, I love that decision by itself. Giving Shadow equal amounts of stages as Sonic, I think, is a great idea. But the stage itself, it just looks so, I don't know, Shadow and Green Hill, it looks really fan-made. Like, it looks like a mod. Like, the entire thing looks like a mod. Like, this would have been modded day one with Forces, and it just really shows, because good Shadow and Green Hill is just the most absurd thing to me. And it does not work from a visual standpoint at all, because Shadow just wasn't born in that. Yes, SA3 did have Green Hill, but Shadow wasn't playable in Green Hill, so it just looks weird and I'm not used to it. But that's obviously a nitpick. Shadow will be in the regular stages as well, and we haven't seen his other unique stages. This stage in particular just did not look that fun at all, so I have no real comment on that. It looks very Colors-ish, which, if you don't know, is a game I don't like all that much because of its stage designs, but you know, that's another argument for another time. And yeah, I think it's just something to highlight, because Shadow, what's important about this is the future of Sonic, right? The future of the 3D games. They see how much people love that. Like, they didn't make Shadow playable in the Boom series. They brought Shadow in, you know, for hype and everything, but he was never playable in Boom. So the fact that he's playable here, it's like, wow, this is new, because we get to see where the series goes from here. Will they, you know, play with the other characters more and like dwell into that? Because Shadow's the easy one to go with, because he's basically Sonic. So will they try to implement new characters? Will this very game, get more DLC or other playable characters? It's a great move. I mean, I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad it's announced this early on, because a lot of doubters of Forces, a main contraction of Forces was the fact that, wow, we're doing Generations again. There's no, I want to play as someone else. And yes, we get the custom character, but he doesn't really play, like, it's not really a Sonic gameplay. Like, it's not a fast gameplay. It's just weird looking. I'm still not fully on board with the custom character gameplay. The tag thing is pretty interesting. That's something we haven't seen since like Heroes. Shadow being here is like super important and super interesting for just a variety of reasons. And because this is unscripted, these are just my thoughts. I could be saying a lot more, but this is just what I can get out in the free time I have to record this. So as far as my opinion on it, the gameplay itself, just again, the stage was not a very good example to showcase Shadow, because Shadow is like a 3D like cool character, and like it just does not fit the stage at all, and the stage looked really, I don't know, I'm not feeling that stage design at all. But again, the general general idea of Shadow being DLC or Shadow being in the game, I fully support. That is a move in the direction I think a lot of people want, and I'm glad to see that they're actually listening to people with that as far as like the fans and stuff. Because even like in interviews, like I've seen past interviews like with Generations and Lost World and such where people ask like Aaron Weber, like, is Shadow playable when we play as, like, Amy or Knuckles? And maybe they're not asking for Amy, but Knuckles and Tails, and they're always like, not this time, but next time. So I think it's a great move. Shadow, definitely the best pick for this. But yeah, I fully support this. And briefly, I also ranted on Twitter about this other news that came out, the Sonic Adventure 3 news. Yes, Sonic Adventure 3 is back in headlines. Because that's what we all wanted to see in headlines. Basically, why we don't have it or why they aren't making it, I guess we have full clarification now. Basically, the reasoning is they don't want to dwell on the past. This is kind of like what we discussed, me and Kobe, in my collab video I did on SA3. But they're basically saying that we don't want to dwell in the past, and we try to push forward with each game. And going back to the adventure games, it just be going back for the sake of pleasing people instead of pushing the series forward. Now, this type of mindset I don't disagree with. I actually agree with, because yeah, that's what you want to do. That's any type of like art. You want to keep moving forward and improving things. Where they contradict themselves, though, is that they're not quite doing that. The only game that really strayed, like that tried to do something new, I think was Lost World. That was like the fresh game, and they're not even trying to refine that or go back to it, which is the good move to do, I think. But they're going back to the Generations gameplay, which they aren't redefining based on forces. Nothing is pushing forward. In fact, it just looks like they're doing colors again for some reason, when I feel like more people liked Generations. I don't know, that could just be me generalizing, but yeah, I don't feel like it. The fact that they're bringing Classic N and all these old stages, like, we are literally in the nostalgia era of Sonic. Like, the modern era ended with Colors. We are now in the nostalgia era. That should be the official name of this time period we're in. And you can't really use that logic, right? You can't really use that logic when you're not really pushing the series that much forward. Like, sure, you can be stepping in new territory, like we've never had create a character, but dude, what is Sonic Forces doing? Like, what is Forces, what is Generation, what are all these games doing that's just pushing the series forward? Because they haven't made a game that just strictly redefined the modern gameplay. Like, the modern gameplay has never had a game only on its own. We've never seen that. They always have to have like Classic or Hedgehog or something attached to it. We've never had a game with only modern Sonic that just perfects this gameplay so we can grab that and then push forward. No, we've never had that. So it's to the point to where, yeah, you can take the adventure gameplay, like their reasoning for not doing the adventure games just kind of contradicts what they're actually doing in the games. Because again, I've said this like my really early videos, I'm someone who can look past the fact that, you know, adventure is in the past. Like, I'm someone who can move forward. I've said that so many times. I don't know why people think I'm like an adventure fanboy. I love the games, but people just think that's all I want from Sonic. No, like, we're in, like, Sonic, I've realized my era with Sonic is definitely over, but people are still wanting that, and their reasoning for just not doing it just doesn't make sense to me. That's my only thing. The series is so, like, jumbled to the point that I don't even think it mattered if they made like an adventure. Like, if they wanted to make another adventure game, I think it just pleased a lot of people. I don't think it damaged that much. Like, maybe if you call it SA3 and it doesn't live up to expectations, yeah, but I think the real reasoning is because, you know, there's this recent backlash against the adventure titles, you know, because they're so bad now. I don't know what happened. Like, they just, God, I can't play the games anymore because they're so bad. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know why they're bad now, but they're bad now. So maybe that's the reason. You know, the adventure games are getting this negative press around them. So maybe they're just like, no, that's the last thing we want to do. In contrast to Mania, to where the classics are just always good, right? The perfect trilogy for Sonic, right? The gold standard. So when Mania does it, it's not weird. And Mania was made for the fans, by the way, which again doesn't fit their quota because they're not pushing Sonic forward, they're going backwards with Mania. Not to mention that because of Izuka, we actually have returning stages in Mania, which again goes against their whole argument with that, but it's whatever, man. I just don't like their reasoning. I understand understand and I respect the fact that, oh, we won't make Sonic Adventure 3 because, you know, if they give a better reason, like it's just too risky, like again, like Kobe and I said in that one video. But I'm not buying this. I'm not buying the actual reason. I'm not buying the reason they're doing this is because each game needs to push the series forward and we have to keep continuing. What is it continuing? I want to know what this nostalgia era is continuing. Because it's not continuing anything. It's bringing things back to make things quote unquote original, and they're just art to me, and at least to me, you know. But that's just what I thought. You know, I haven't done one of these like discussion rants in a long time. It actually just makes me feel like I'm doing one of my old videos. It's kind of cool in a way. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you think of Shadow returning in this game as DLC? You know, we finally have a playable character. My dude Shadow was in the sunken place. Have you guys ever seen Get Out? Yeah, he was in the sunken place. The dude escaped, and now he has to. We're hoping he can go back and save the others. Just give me Knuckles, man. I'd be fine with that. Or even Blaze, if you saw that one video I did. And I don't really want the comments to be like a huge SA3 rant. Oh, it happened already. The SEGA doesn't need to do it. People are whining. You know, you don't have to talk about that too much. But, you know, let me know your thoughts on what they said. I will put the actual articles and the description of the video, and yeah, you can read it yourselves. I'll most likely edit them in the video, like on the screen. Yeah, just stay tuned for the next videos. I am currently working on those, and I will definitely talk to you guys later.